My name is Blessing Ajibera and I'm from Nigeria.
My name is Nigeria Campbell. I'm from Pennsylvania.
My name is Tumi Nunu Ebo Nwakuku, and I grew up in Monroe, Louisiana, and my parents came from Nigeria.
The 180. You don't have to climb the highest mountains.
The first time I was addressed with the question of racial identity was probably when I had to take my PSATs, and the question, you get to that question that says, oh, which is your race? African American, white American, Asian, and Latino. And I was sort of confused because I didn't consider myself African American. I was just African, and that I had to check. I just checked others because I didn't consider myself African American. I was just African.
I've never really had a racial identity problem. I've never really had a problem with understanding who I was. I've always known that I was African American.
I would say that I recognized my ethnicity whenever I was in the second grade, and a white friend, walked up to me and started taunting me. She was like, you're black, and I'm white. And so in the moment I got frustrated and called myself brown because I just didn't think of myself as a black, literally a black person.
Before my realization, my identity was just Nigerian. I was Nigerian, not Ghanaian, not Togolese, just Nigerian.
I think that for people who had a racial identity problem before coming to America, I think that maybe in their country it was not as important as it is here in America of really understanding and knowing who you are inside and out. And so I think that because it's so important here, that they were made aware of it and they were brought into understanding and realizing that they're African American or whatever race that they are. So I believe that it just wasn't as important and it was never made aware or known to them exactly who and what they are, because maybe in that country everyone is just alike and everyone is the same, but here in America no one's the same and no one's alike. No one has the same skin color.
I feel like I can identify with African Americans and Nigerians equally. I identify with African Americans because people treat me like an African American because I don't have an accent. Whenever I walk into a building or a place or a store, they treat me as an African American. And whenever I'm talking with Nigerians, they often treat me like an African American as well. But if they know me well, they begin to treat me like a Nigerian, I guess you could say.
I have not been hateful to other races. If at all, it has helped me embrace diversity, particularly because I'm in a university with a lot of diverse people.
To me, I think that my racial identity is very important. I think that it's very important in understanding and knowing who you really are, inside and out, no matter what skin color you are. Because if you're not aware of who you are, then you'll become subject to whatever people make you to be. And so that's why I believe that it's very important to be true to who you are and understand who you are, and just understanding who you are so that you don't come subject to what people make you or want you to be.
I think coming to grips with who one is ethnically allows you to appreciate other races more. Like, because I grew up in a Nigerian home, and whenever I realized the value of being Nigerian by my parents just speaking about the beauty of the culture, and then whenever I went to Nigeria for about a month, being around so many people who had such common culture that was different than the one I grew up in, but it was right. It was okay. It was beautiful the way that they did things. And whenever I came to the United States, it was beautiful the way people here did things.
I think that Black people should speak out to be heard and sometimes it gets too much. Like the boycotting of the Oscars and all that protesting and stuff, it gets too much. But the most important thing is getting your voice heard. So I feel like they should speak out only if they're sure that their voice will be heard. Or take, for example, if Martin Luther King never spoke out, I won't be in ORU. And if Rosa Parks never took that seat on the bus, I probably will still be sitting at the back of a bus. But yeah, I think they should speak out for a purpose, but not speak out with hatred. Speak with love, speak with peace, speak with a godly mind.
I do believe that if Martin Luther King didn't help end segregation, Africans, wouldn't be able to come here so freely. And so I do believe that they appreciate Martin Luther King and what he has done to help end the segregation so that they can come into another country and not have to deal with the segregation and separation.
And I think if people hold so tightly to where they come from, to the point that it causes them to have a negative view of somebody else, like that's where racism comes from. Whenever you think some part of you is superior to another group of people, if you look down on somebody for being or doing something differently than you, that's where a lot of strife in the United States comes from. Just the perception of, like, we speak better than you. Like, your name is not going to work in the workplace. If you fire somebody just because their name doesn't sound professional, despite the hard work that they do, or if you think like this entire group of people is lazy and fat, or this entire group of people is Muslim, without getting to know them, like that is racism when you don't care about the character, the individual characteristics of people.